My friend tried to ruin my career with lies. So I used her own words to destroy her reputation. Let me preface this by saying I'm not a naturally vengeful person. I don't like drama. I've always been the keep your head down and do good work kind of person. But when someone deliberately tries to sabotage your career, damage your mental health, and turn your colleagues against you, all while smiling to your face, you're left with two choices: suffer in silence or do something about it. I chose the latter. I, 28F, work as a graphic designer at a boutique creative agency in a mid-sized city. It's a fairly tight-knit team, only 10 of us, and we collaborate closely on brand campaigns, product design, and client identity projects. I've been here for almost 4 years and have worked my way up from junior designer to senior designer through sheer hard work, consistency, and hitting tight deadlines while managing multiple high-stakes projects. Enter Sophie, 29F, fake name. She joined about 2 years ago, initially as a junior copywriter. But she's recently started doing more strategic work and had been trying to climb the internal ladder pretty aggressively. When she first started, we clicked. We'd grab lunch together, vent about the chaos of client work, and even hung out outside the office. I considered her a genuine friend. I confided in her about some personal stuff, namely my recent breakup, some lingering issues with anxiety, and how I sometimes felt burned out by the perfectionism expected in our line of work. In hindsight, that trust was a mistake. A few months ago, I started noticing something was off. Our team meetings became awkward. Comments I made in brainstorms were brushed over. My manager, who used to be quite warm, suddenly felt distant. 2 coworkers who used to chat with me daily were suddenly cold. I chalked it up to overthinking, anxiety playing tricks on me. That is, until a mutual friend from another department, let's call her Jess, pulled me aside one day. "Hey, I don't know if you're aware," Jess began, "but Sophie's been saying some things about you. Like, that you're emotionally unstable, that you've been slipping up on projects, and that you're kind of checked out since your breakup. I thought you should know." I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I knew immediately what was happening. Sophie had weaponized every vulnerable thing I'd ever told her. She was spreading subtle but damaging lies, likely to push me out of the way for a promotion or leadership opportunity. She never said anything outright or provable, just enough to plant seeds of doubt in people's minds. I considered confronting her, but then I thought, no. If she's willing to lie behind my back, she'll lie to my face. I needed evidence. I decided to set a trap, not out of pettiness, but out of self-defense. We live in a one-party consent state, so I legally began recording my conversations with her outside formal work meetings. I was careful, casual, subtle. I kept things light and friendly, like nothing had changed. Over the next few weeks, I initiated conversations where I gently steered the topic toward work performance, stress, and client feedback. Here are just a few golden moments I captured. On the subject of my big logo project: "Sophie, honestly? You carried that whole pitch. If I had to deal with that client, I would have lost my mind." Note, she told others I'd dropped the ball on that same project. On my mental health: "Sophie, you're probably the most resilient person I know. I don't know how you juggle everything so well." Note, she'd been calling me emotionally unstable behind my back. On my reliability: I made up a fake story about hearing from a coworker that I missed a deadline I hadn't. "Sophie, people just love to gossip. You're literally the most on top of it person in this place. Don't listen to them." All of this in her own voice, clear as day. Then, I compiled text messages and conversations where she praised my work, backed up ideas she'd later claimed were problematic, and generally contradicted the image she was painting of me to others. I booked a private meeting with my manager. I calmly laid out everything. The shift in how people were treating me, the rumors I'd been made aware of, and most importantly, the evidence. I played the recordings, showed the texts. Let her hear Sophie in her own words praising my work while spreading the opposite narrative behind my back. Manager was stunned. She literally said, "I'm shocked. I had no idea." She thanked me for bringing it forward and promised to escalate it to our. The next week, HR called me in for a formal meeting. They'd already met with Sophie by then. Apparently. She tried to deny everything until they played the recordings. Then she pivoted, said she was jealous, that she felt overlooked, and that she got carried away. Claimed it wasn't malicious. Just stress and insecurity. She wasn't fired, but she was removed from her team lead candidacy, placed on a performance improvement plan, and moved to a different desk away from the creative team. The trust was broken. And me? I got a formal apology, a private email from my manager praising my integrity, and slowly but surely, the respect of my colleagues back. First update. First off, I'm blown away by the response to my story. Thank you all for the kindness, validation, and encouragement. It really meant a lot. So, the story didn't stop there. After Sophie's disciplinary meeting, she returned to work like a ghost. No more loud laughter, no more office gossip, just earbuds in and silent typing. Most people avoided her, and she stopped showing up to after-hours events or lunch outings. But here's the twist. After my case, 2 other coworkers, one in the copy team and another in marketing, approached HR to report similar behavior. Sophie had apparently been undermining them too, suggesting they were too junior to lead projects, claiming their feedback was immature, and even taking credit for one of their campaign ideas in a meeting with higher-ups. HR launched a broader review of her conduct. No more benefit of the doubt. No more plausible deniability. People started connecting the dots. Meanwhile, I was invited to join the planning committee for a new rebranding campaign, the exact project Sophie had been angling for before all this. Petty? Maybe. But oh so satisfying. Final update. Hi, Reddit. Here's a final update and it's a good one. Sophie resigned last week. We all know what that means. HR gave her the option to resign quietly or face formal disciplinary action, including likely termination. She chose the soft exit, packed up her stuff after hours and ghosted everyone. No farewell email, no LinkedIn post, just gone. In a moment of full-circle karma, I've now officially been promoted to lead designer on the rebranding campaign. I don't feel guilty. I feel relieved. Not just for myself, but for everyone else she manipulated. I didn't want revenge, I wanted truth. And sometimes the best way to get justice is to let liars tie their own noose with their words. Lesson learned. Protect your boundaries, document everything, and never ignore that sinking gut feeling that something's off. Thanks for supporting me.